In a small village nestled between the great rivers of Nigeria, there lived a young man named Chike. He was a clever and ambitious youth with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of wonder. Chike's parents, Nneoma and Ikechukwu, were poor but proud farmers who worked tirelessly to provide for their family. They instilled in Chike the values of hard work, humility, and respect for others. As Chike grew in wisdom and age, he became known throughout the land for his exceptional wisdom and cunning. He was specially skilled in the art of engineering, able to craft ingenious solutions to the village's most pressing problems. But as Chike's fame grew, so did his pride. He began to forget the humble soil from which he sprang and the people who had nurtured him. He started to look down upon his fellow villagers, believing himself to be superior. One day, the great chief Oladipo, ruler of the land, invited Chike to a grand feast in his honor. Chike arrived at the feast in a magnificent attire, boasting of his achievements to all who would listen. But as he spoke, a wise man named Baba Akin appeared from the shadows.
"Chike, my son,"
he said,
"your pride will be your downfall. Remember the source of your strength and always honor those who have helped you along the way."
Chike ignored the old man's words, believing himself to be above reproach. But little did he know his actions had not gone unnoticed. The gods themselves were watching, and they would soon teach Chike a lesson he will never forget. As the days passed, Chike's behavior became more and more erratic. He would often belittle his fellow villagers and boast of his own accomplishments. The villagers who had once celebrated Chike's success began to whisper among themselves about his pride and arrogance. One fateful evening, as Chike was walking home from the village square, he stumbled upon a mysterious figure cloaked in shadows. The figure beckoned him to follow, leading him to the deep heart of the forest. Suddenly, the figure vanished, leaving Chike alone and disoriented. As he turned to find his way back, he heard a voice booming from the trees.
"Chike, have you forgotten the ways of your ancestors? You have forgotten the source of your strength."
Chike trembled with fear, realizing that the gods themselves were speaking to him. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice shaking.
"I am the spirit of your ancestors,"
replied the voice,
"and I have come to teach you a lesson. You will begin to perform a task. Chike, if you succeed, you will be rewarded beyond your wildest dreams. But if you fail, you will suffer a fate worse than death."
Chike, still trembling, nodded eagerly.
"I accept the task. What must I do?"
The voice replied,
"In the heart of the forest there is a sacred spring. Its waters have the power to heal the sick and grant wisdom to the foolish. But the spring is guarded by a fearsome creature, one that will only allow those with a humble heart to pass."
Chike, determined to succeed, set off towards the spring. But as he journeyed deeper into the forest, he began to realize that the journey was more challenging than he anticipated. As Chike ventured deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller and the path grew narrower. He heard strange noises and saw movement out of the corner of his eyes. But whenever he turned to look, there was nothing. The air was thick with a scent of blooming flowers and decaying leaves. After hours of walking, Chike came across a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an enormous tree, its trunk twisted and gnarled with age. The tree seemed to be watching him. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an old woman dressed in tattered robes, her hair wild and grey. She regarded Chike with a piercing gaze.
Who are you?
Chike asked, trying to hide his fear.
I'm the guardian of the forest.
The woman replied, her voice low and raspy.
And you, Chike, are the man consumed by pride. You have forgotten the ways of your ancestors and the source of your strength.
Chike shifted uncomfortably, feeling a twinge of guilt.
I have been sent to complete a task.
He said,
I must reach the sacred spring to retrieve its waters.
The old man cackled.
Ah, yes, the spring. Many have attempted to reach it before, but none have succeeded. The creature that guards it is fierce and unforgiving.
Chike steeled himself.
I'm not afraid. I'll face whatever challenges lie ahead.
The old woman regarded him for a long moment before nodding.
Very well. I'll give you a gift to aid on your journey. But first, you must answer a riddle.
Chike agreed, and the old woman posed the riddle.
What can be broken but can never be held? What can be given but never sold?
Chike thought deeply before answering.
A promise.
The old woman smiled, revealing crooked teeth.
Very good, you have passed the first test. Here is your gift.
She handed a small pouch containing a pinch of powder.
This is the dust of the ancestors. It will protect you from harm, but only if you use it wisely.
Chike thanked the old woman and continued on his journey. As he walked, the forest grew denser and the shadows deepened. He could feel eyes on him, boring into his skin. Suddenly, a rustling in the bushes ahead. Chike drew his knife, ready to face whatever creature emerged. But to his surprise, a magnificent creature stepped out of the underbush. Its fur was shimmering silver, its eyes piercing green. It regarded Chike with a regal gaze.
Who are
You? Chike asked, awestruck.
I'm the guardian of the spring.
Creature replied, its voice low and melodious.
And you, Chike, are the man with a heart full of pride. But I sense something more. A spark of humility, perhaps.
Chike hesitated, unsure of how to respond. The creature continued.
I will give you a choice. You may either answer my riddle or face my wrath.
Chike chose to answer the riddle, hoping to avoid the creature's wrath. The riddle posed as,
What is that is always coming but never arrives?
Chike thought deeply before answering.
Tomorrow.
The creature nodded his head.
Very good, you have passed the second test, but be warned, Chike, the final test will be the most challenging of all.
And with that, the creature stepped aside, revealing a hidden path. Chike took a deep breath and followed its path, his heart pounding in his chest. As Chike walked down the path, he noticed that the trees grew taller and the air grew sweeter. He could hear the gentle babbling of the brook and the chirping of the birds. The path opened up to a clearing, and in the center of the clearing stood the sacred spring. But as Chike approached the spring, he saw that it was surrounded by a ring of fire. The flames danced and crackled, casting flickering shadows on the ground. Suddenly a voice boomed from the heart of the fire.
Chike, you have reached the final test. To retrieve the waters of the spring, you must first extinguish the flames.
Chike looked around, searching for a way to put out the fire. That was when he remembered the dust of the ancestors that the old woman had given to him. Sprinkled the dust into the flames and they died down, revealing a hidden stepping stone path. Chike crossed the path and reached the spring. He cupped his hands and took a drink of the crystal clear water. As he did, he felt a surge of wisdom and understanding flood through him. As he emerged from the forest, he saw the old woman and the creature waiting for him. They nodded in approval.
Well done, Chike.
The old woman said.
You have passed the test and retrieved the waters of the spring. May its wisdom guide you on your journey.
And with that, Chike returned to the village, a changed man. He used the wisdom and knowledge he had to gain help from his people. As soon as he became known as the wisest and most humble man in the land, the gods themselves smiled upon Chike, and his name became synonymous with wisdom and humility. And though he faced many challenges in his life, he always remembered the lesson he learned on his journey of the sacred spring. Moral lesson: pride goes before a fall. Humility is key to wisdom. True strength comes from within.